Well, this could be the end. Due to a couple of small recent wins, we are very close to hitting our target of the season of £1,000 total profit. We need £88.92 to call it quits for season 1. Is this going to be that episode? I buy faulty electronic items from eBay, attempt to fix them and sell them for a profit. Welcome your faces back to episode number 104 of the series, Profit or Loss. What have you got for us today, Joey? I paid a grand total of £50 for this faulty Nintendo Switch OLED. Yeah, I bought another one. How could I resist for a nice £50? The last one we had of these, all we had to do was transfer it into another chassis and we made a very, very nice profit. What's the issue? Well, I believe it's a no power and the condition of it is okay. We've got a little bit of, I don't know, it looks like chassis grease is what I'm going to say here. And I'm actually only now just noticing that it potentially might have been opened before due to the felt being lifted up. You see here how it's all nice and tucked in. Here on the console, it looks like it's been lifted up. Let's have a look under the scope at the charging port. Okay, I think this one's been opened before, judging by the state of the screws. The actual charging port itself looks okay, I think. I dread to say it. I hope that's not liquid damage just down the back of the port at the top here. Maybe 5 pins in. I hope that's not corrosion. I think it'll be okay to plug the ammeter in and see what draw we get. Let's go ahead and do exactly that. What is this little device, Joey? It's called an ammeter, and this will help me diagnose the current that this console is taking. So we're going to plug it in. It does something. 0.04, 0.06, 0.02. All right. Again, very, very strange. Don't think I've ever come across that, to be honest, which could be really, really good or really, really bad. It might be that there's a short on the board, and when it goes to ramp up, it's cutting out, and that's why it goes back down to 0.02. It could be a completely dead battery. I'm not too sure, but there's only one way to find out. We definitely don't get the charging symbol in the top left. We need to take this apart and inspect further. I've just got to open it, and we're missing 2 of the tri-wing screws down here. Okay, what have we walked into? Hopefully nothing too bad, and maybe let's just, perhaps they just forgot to put the screws in. Again, this is actually from the same seller where it was just a case of a shell swap. So, I've got good faith. Oh, wait a minute. It looks like the battery's not even plugged in. You see down here? The battery's not plugged in. That would explain why it's not doing anything, but it also kind of sucks that it's staying at 0.02 amps, which might indicate that there is a fault on the board itself. We have a water damage indicator, the pink one, to indicate that there has been water damage. So maybe that's why the battery was taken out. Let's go over to the scope again. Check around the battery connector first. Is there much liquid damage? Doesn't look like it from what I can see. That looks okay to me. Just skimming the board. Got the port here. Okay, that looks like it's been changed. This also looks like it's been put through an ultrasonic cleaner. That's just gunk and corrosion, signs of corrosion after an ultrasonic clean, to be honest. That's what that looks like. We have just a few more signs of gunk. Just looking for anything massively obvious. We have a max IC there. Again, corroded caps. These caps do not look like this. They are not factory. What's happened is this has been put through an ultrasonic cleaner. I think somebody's taken the board out, not put the battery back, seen that this is liquid damage, and then just gone, we can't fix it, it doesn't work, so we're just going to sell it on. Let me just plug this in properly. This looks like it's had a lot worse done to it, so I am just going to plug the battery in and see what reading we get. See if that makes a change slightly. With that plugged in, let's see what happens now. Do we get anything? 0.37, 0.48. Nothing on the screen. Okay. All right. Oh, it's just restarted. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. I think I know the situation with this one. Let me put it in a docking station. And this is kind of not good. Let's go over to our game scene and let's just plug this in. Here we go. Is it going to show on the screen? I think so. I think it will. Any second now. There it is. I don't believe it. It works. Okay, I'm controlling everything through one stick at the moment, and the range on it is awful because obviously I've disconnected the antenna and everything, but I mean, it seems to be working. I may have landed myself just another one that needs to go into a different housing. That's pretty much all that needs to happen with this one. The only problem being that I don't have another housing. The cheapest OLED screen I can find as a replacement is this one for £77.59 on AliExpress, may I add, as well as shipping plus tax. It's £95. If I pay £95 for a replacement screen, that takes our total up to £145, and the board has clearly seen liquid damage. I'd be able to sell this for around about 140 to 130, so I'd be in a loss anyway. That doesn't really make sense. The only logical way to play this would be as if I had a replacement housing that I could transfer the components into. Even then, I wouldn't feel necessarily comfortable selling it on eBay because of the fact it's clearly had water damage on the board. It might last a week, it might last a day, it could last 3 years, but it just doesn't necessarily sit right with me. I know that somebody will buy it, and I would put in the description the exact situation I have here, but it still wouldn't feel good. It's a real shame that I don't have replacement housing, because I would be able to make a profit, even if I was able to get 80, 90 pounds for this, because technically it works, maybe even stretch for 100 pounds, but I haven't worked on that many OLEDs, so therefore I don't have the components. I personally think the best thing to do here, and you can tell me in the comments down below if you think I'm wrong, there's nothing to essentially fix on this device, so I don't think we're going to get any satisfaction there. I think I'm going to relist this on eBay, and I'm going to say it powers on with a picture of the dashboard on the docking station, and then I'm also going to take a picture of some of the discoloration on the caps just to show that there is something wrong with the board. Might not be wrong, but you know what I mean. And I think I'm still going to be able to get maybe, you know, 70 pounds or so for this. I think I'll be able to make a profit even though it's faulty. And because we're nearing the end of season 1 and I really want to get over that finish line with you, I think that is the best solution here. Sucks. I was looking forward to trying to actually repair it, but unfortunately that is how the cookie has crumbled. Let's move on to item number 2. I paid a bargain price of £27.50 for this Nintendo Switch Lite. The issue on eBay is that it says it does not charge even with new charging cables, so unable to test further issues. So at least they've tried a new charger. Does that mean that the port itself is our actual issue? Let's go under the microscope and take a look at the port. How's it looking? Again, not too bad. We've got this big crack here, and usually that's an indication that somebody's changed out the port and maybe not sanded it down correctly or something. It seems to be solid. I can't see any pins sticking out of the port or anything like that. It all looks pretty even. It's a little bit grimy. Even if I just show you the power of a quick clean, I'll just put some IPA in there. The toothbrush. Dry it off. Look at that. Now it looks brand new. Plug in the ammeter, see what happens. Same sort of story as the OLED, etc. What do we get? 0.07. That's a flat battery. And we get an image on the screen. Oh my gosh. I swear the last like 4 switches that I've done have all just been such weird / almost easy issues. You can't really make it up. Well, they said they tried a different charger, but I don't know, maybe the 2 chargers that they had weren't too good. Let's plug in just the cable alone just to see and make sure it's all going to be good. It is, yeah, it's fine. And then let's turn this around, make sure we get charging the other way as well. Which we do. Yeah, it seems to be absolutely fine. Let's just make sure that this boots. It's going to need a good clean anyway. There's quite a lot of grime and dirt under the analog sticks and inside the buttons. So I'll give it a nice clean. We do have what looks to be a little bit of perhaps water or liquid damage there. But if we just give the screen a nice clean, already it will look 5 times better than what it currently does. Is this the way I envisioned closing out profit or loss if we are successful today? Not at all. I would like something that I could get my teeth stuck into, even if it is something like a charging port replacement or HDMI or just something. I'm not even going to pretend like this bit is pre-recorded. I've just gone to test to see if the game works, and it's come with a game. What game do we have? Assassin's Creed. Unbelievable. Assassin's Creed Remastered, apparently. I might actually give that one a little bit of a spin as long as it works. Test and make sure. Yeah, it does. Look. Wow. Okay. It didn't come with an SD card as well, did it? Oh my gosh. We got a double whammy. Are you having a laugh? Again, focus. What size is it? 128 gig as well. Oh my gosh. As long as this Nintendo Switch is okay, after I've tested some other things, I'm actually going to sell it with the 128 gig SD card and Assassin's Creed to see how much money these can fetch as well. Actually, I've lied. I've got a 32 gig SD card here. I'm going to take this 128 and sell it with the 32 gig. I think that makes sense. I'm just going to take it apart. The reason I'm going to take it apart is because it looked like there was that little bit of liquid, well, not liquid, but a little tiny weeny bit of corrosion down here. So I want to give this a clean on the inside as well, just to make sure we don't have any signs of liquid damage. But other than that, I can't believe it. I'll come back to you and let you know whether it's okay. If in the next scene that you see that I'm inside it, then it's not all okay. Next scene is that I am in it, but just to confirm, the water damage sticker hasn't gone off and it is nice and clean on the inside. What an absolute win. Okay, so I have cleaned the console and it's looking amazing. The console's looking really, really good. We cleaned out majority of the dirt. We know that it's all clean on the inside as well. I am struggling on what to do in this scenario. Let me tell you why. I paid £27.50 for this Nintendo Switch Lite. I think with the game and the SD card, I should be able to net at least £100. At least. That's a big profit, which might see us over season 1 of profit or loss. The moral part of me wants to send this back to the seller for the price that I bought it. However, let me share with you a fact first. I'm going to blur out the name here because I feel like that's fair, you know? The seller that I bought it from has 1,918 reviews at 99.5% positive. They are a business seller. See this little indication here? It says business. They have sold 4,100 items as well. Where I stand is that if this was a private eBay seller, and they were like, you know, unfortunately, my Switch doesn't work, and they've had a couple of sales and they had to sell it because they thought it was faulty, I would sell it back to them for the price that I paid. And that means I would potentially tank, not on purpose, another finale to profit or loss, which obviously I don't want to do. However, because it's a business seller, I am going to take the profit from this console and I am going to sell it on my eBay. I know that there's going to be some people out there who probably detest this decision, and if so, please leave a comment down below. Or if you have an opinion on it, feel free to share it. Of course, nothing is as simple as it seems. I've reset the Nintendo Switch. I thought, yeah, it's time to sell it and list it up, etc., etc. And watch this. I don't know why this is happening now. I don't know whether it was like because of an initial clean. But look, so it's okay. But the port is quite temperamental. So like if I just touch the wire, but before it wasn't doing that, it was absolutely fine. I swear I haven't sabotaged this, by the way. But can you see? So that's probably what's happened. They've probably gone to put a new cable in, and it's not picking up anything, you see? But if I angle it just right, which is what I must have done when I was testing it originally, it works. I let go and it's fine. But the second you kind of give it a little bit of a wiggle, it cuts off. So obviously I can't have it going out the door like that, because some people might try and put their cable in and it's not going to charge. Which means that we have some work to do. Thank goodness. I'll see you under the scope. And now morally I don't feel as bad, because can you imagine if I reached out to a private seller in that situation, send it back to them and they were like, no, it still doesn't work. What are you talking about? That would have been bad. All right, so 430 degrees Celsius, airflow speed 50% to go ahead and take this port clean off the board. There it goes. Do not put the same one back on, Joey. Whilst it's nice and hot, let's apply some flux and add some leaded solder to the mix. We are looking good. Nice cleanup. Ready for our new port to be put into place, which I'm going to tin up now. Just here, add some flux. There it is. Port is all nice and tinned, ready to go. More flux. Just make sure there's not too much here. Perfect. Lower our temp to 420 degrees Celsius now, because the solder we've put on, the leaded, has brought that melting temperature down. So we're going to rotate the heat again, come back in and just place this charging port on the board. You can see it starting to wet. There we go. Place the port on. Move the heat around, back and forth. If we stay stagnant, we'll burn the plastic. Give it a little push to its new home. Make sure we get the port nice and warm. And again, a little push around. Just make sure it's all okay and that the solder has bonded, which it looks like it has. Then we're going to come off the heat in 3, 2, 1, now. Carry on holding ever so slightly. I'm not pushing hard here, just almost resting my tweezers on. It's solidified, so I'm going to pull the tweezers off and give it a nice clean. Now we get to do the fun part and see if that port is sat on correctly, or whether some annoying bits of plastic or something have stopped us from getting a nice flush port. Let's just test and make sure that they are all solid. Solid. Good. 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 They are all good. I rarely do this, but just in case this is the last one for season 1, I'm just going to show you real quick. If I do just put a little bit of flux here and just come in with our soldering iron, we can tap these up, look. Just make sure they're nice and secure. Just like that. Give it a nice clean again. Only issue with doing something like this is you can't guarantee what the status of the pins underneath are going to be like, you know. So it's always best to reflow if you are a little bit concerned. And there we have it. That's just going over them. Again, I'm just going to make sure they're all solid, which they are. Nice. These ones on the left are absolutely fine. These ones didn't look soldered, but they were. All right, let's give it a test. Now I can show you the difference between the port integrity of what we had before and what we have now. So if I go ahead and plug this in, it's strong, it's working, and I can move this around and look, it doesn't even glitch out at all. Really nice, secure, solid. I can pull it, I can push it, and it's going to charge regardless. Let's get it back in the chassis. All right, here we go. We're just aiming to see if it charges both ways after we've just done the charging port replacement, which it does. There we go, looking all good. Let's turn it over. How's it this side? All good. How's the wiggle wobble? All good. Doesn't disconnect. Lovely. That's what we love to see. This one is ready to sell after a bit of a clean again. I can't believe I'm about to say this for the last time in season 1. I'm very emotional. This episode has been a little bit shorter than the others. If I really wanted to, I could find another device to have a look at for this episode. But if I'm honest with you, I think it's time. Let's head on over to Sally's spectacular spreadsheet. Our total cost for the faulty devices was £77.50. Yeah, it was. Parts, I just used a Nintendo Switch Lite port, which I'm going to say is £1. Sell price, I think I'm going to be able to get absolute lowball, I think £90 for the OLED Switch. Plus, looking at recent prices sold for a Switch Lite, considering this is also going to include a game of Assassin's Creed and a 32GB SD card, I think I'll be able to get £110 for the Switch Lite. So the 110 plus 90 gives us a total sell price of £200, which leaves us with a total gross profit in today's episode 104 of the series, profit or loss, of £103.50. And if you remember at the start of the video, I said we need to make a total profit of £88.92, which means that we've cleared it by a little bit as well. Meaning, after 104 episodes of profit or loss, we have finally hit our target of over £1,000, specifically £1,014.58. If we're all honest, Sally's spectacular spreadsheet is probably done with me by now. Fun fact, to end this monumental occasion, for a limited time only, I'll be selling a t-shirt that shows off the amazing fact you were here to witness the end of season 1 of Profit or Loss. You can purchase one of these t-shirts using the link in the description down below. I can't tell you what Profit or Loss has not only done for my channel, but my life, and I will forever be grateful for the opportunities that it's given me so far. Most importantly, a massive thank you to anybody out there who has watched a single episode of Profit or Loss. Without you watching this series, it wouldn't have been as successful as what it has been. As for what's next, you tell me.